Now I know that this one's gonna be super controversial. I'm gonna get a lot of hate, especially when we post the recap list on TikTok. I know that they're absolutely gonna destroy us. What's going on, guys? This is Braden from Advancement Hockey Advising here, and today we'll be ranking the top 10 ACHA hockey programs as of 2022. Now I know that this one's gonna be super controversial. I'm gonna get a lot of hate, especially when we post the recap list on TikTok. I know that they're absolutely gonna destroy us, but it's okay. You know, I do this because I know that you guys appreciate these kind of videos. I know that you guys get a lot of value out of it, and you know, especially for ACHA here, the ACHA programs, it really varies so widely in terms of caliber, and that's why I want to give you guys the top 10 ACHA D1 programs to look out for, because those are actually legit programs that are actually like on par with lower end NCAA D3 programs. These guys are really strong. I've seen them play, or most of them play, and honestly this list, you know, even though the metrics aren't exactly what we wanted, it's pretty representative of what I remember as to what the top ACHA programs are. First off, let's dive into the metrics here. Unfortunately, the data was really limited for ACHA. We had to get all of it on the ACHA website, and they didn't have that of the past 5 years, which is the rankings that we like to use as an average to give us an idea as to what teams are consistent day in and day out. So we are only able to get the rankings of last year's teams. We also like to have a metric where we talk about pro advancements, but unfortunately at the ACHA level, we couldn't really find much. There's maybe some teams that had one, maybe two guys advanced, but that's pretty much it. And we really couldn't find much. Most teams had zero, okay? And that's an important point for you guys to know, is that at the ACHA level, you can advance to pro, but it is much harder, and you have to be like one of the top players in the league to be able to advance. So the only real metric that we're gonna be using is the last year's ranking on the ACHA website, plus a few tweaks that I'm gonna make because I've seen these programs play, and I feel like last year's ranking wasn't representative of a few. So I bumped a few guys up and I bumped a few guys down. Now, before we dive into the rankings here, as always, it's an AHA video. So I'm gonna ask you guys to absolutely destroy that like button. And if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss another video moving forward. As a reward too, since you guys are loyal followers and you decide to absolutely smash that like button, we're gonna show you a picture of a baby kitten at the end of the video. So stay tuned for that. All right, so we're gonna dive into the ranking right now, starting off with number 1, and probably comes as no surprise here, and that is Lindenwood. These guys, not only were they a powerhouse last year, but they were a powerhouse the years before, for forever, honestly, since they've been playing ACHA. They've always been really strong, and they operate themselves like professionals. So much that they got promoted to have an NCAA D1 team, okay, just recently. So now, will that affect the reputation of their ACHA D1 team? Will they keep their team? Who knows? Nobody really knows that. But for now, because it's a 2022 ranking and based on the past seasons, Lindenwood's at number 1 last year, but also if it was an average of the 5 seasons, it probably would have been at number 1 as well. So Lindenwood at number 1 here. So moving on to number 2 here, which is the only exception that I made that wasn't in par with the website for this year, and that is Adrian. Because Adrian's ACHA D1 team is continuously a powerhouse every single season. They were at number 7 actually this past season, which surprised me. Honestly, I was expecting them to be at number 2, right on par with Lindenwood, but this year they were a little bit lower. But I remember that the years before, they were always at the top, the ACHA D1 team, and their NCAA D3 team, which is above them, is also a powerhouse as well. So they got a really nice hierarchy of programs going. They got an NCAA D3 level, or ACHA D1, D2, and D3. So they got a lot of programs, but the ACHA D1 team is day in and day out always a strong team, which made me rationalize to bump them up to number 2, even though that wasn't what was in the original ranking. Okay, so this is the one exception that I'll be making for a team that wasn't part of the ranking. Moving on to number 3 here is Minot State. Always regarded as a really strong program, always solid. They never waver. If we did the 5-year average and not last year's season only, they would have ranked probably at number 3 or number 2 as well. Between Lindenwood, Adrian, and Minot State, those are 3 really consistent powerhouse programs, and they're consistently in the top 3 in my opinion. All right, so moving on to number 4 on our list here, and that is Iowa State. Now, I actually don't know that much about Iowa State because it wasn't close to any of the schools that I played at, but honestly, I've checked, I did a little bit of research. They were good too the past years from what I could see, you know, in the standings and stuff. So it seems like they were also really good. So they are at number 4. There's not much else I can say about it because I don't know the program all that well. well, but they are number 4 on our list here. All right, so moving on to number 5 here, and that is the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, otherwise known as UNLV. Now, this program is very, very strong day in and day out, especially recently. They've gotten quite strong. I know the coach here quite well. He runs things really well, like a professional hockey program. And honestly, you know, what I think is the big lure too is that you're located in Vegas, right? So I think that probably brings a lot of good hockey players in that could have had, you know, lower end NCAA D3 offers at some programs, but they decide, you know what, instead of being in the middle of nowhere, let's go in Vegas and have a fun time. So I've heard a lot of good things about this school. I heard a lot of good things about the hockey program. I've seen them play online too, and they're quite strong. So it's a really good spot to go to, and they are ranked at number 5 on our list. All right, so moving on to number 6 on our list here, and that is Liberty. Now, these guys are always, you know, really strong. I'd say they're probably always in the top 10 as well. But last year they finished at number 6 or number 5, but because we made the exception, they're at number 6 now. I would say Liberty, yeah, always strong. One thing to know about them is that they're a very Catholic religious school, okay? So if you guys, you know, don't vibe with that, you know, I'd say probably look elsewhere. But if that's something that you really want out of a school, or if it's something you really just don't care about, that doesn't affect you, then it's a good program to look at. The education's good, the hockey program's really good, and if you vibe with that kind of stuff, it'd probably be a good fit for you. So moving on to number 7 on our list here, and that is the University of Central Oklahoma. Now, these guys are a little bit different than the other schools, because a lot of schools at the ACHA D1 level, especially towards the top, and a lot of NCAA D3 schools are quite small, right? But this is the first really big school. There's other schools that are pretty decent size, but I would say Central Oklahoma is a pretty decently big school. It's not the biggest, but medium to big size school. So that's one thing you have to consider. They finished at number 6 on the rankings last year, but we're putting them at number 7 because of the exception that we made. They didn't advance anyone to pro, but that's most ACHA teams. Honestly, if you're looking for a decently big size school, and if you're looking for, you know, a reputable education because they're pretty big, and a good hockey program, this is a good spot to go to. All right, so moving on to number 8 on our list here, and this is where it coincides with the ACHA rankings as well, and that is Stony Brook. Stony Brook, actually, I've been getting a lot of attention from Stony Brook. A lot of players I see that we either represent that get like lower end D3 offers or something like that, or that we hear of, a lot of them end up going to Stony Brook if they're from the New York area, which is where the campus is located. It's located in a nice suburban New York area. The campus is beautiful. I've never seen it in person, but you look at the pictures and they look really, really nice. And I've heard really good things about guys going there. It's a really strong program. One thing to note is they do recruit a lot of guys. So you have to be like known as one of the top guys probably going in for you to have a solid spot in the lineup there. If not, you risk of not being in the lineup. So that's one thing I want you guys to know that I've heard from them. That aside though, they are a really good hockey program, a pretty decently big school as well. And you know, it's located in New York and it's a nice campus. So overall, it's a good spot to go to if you're going to be labeled as one of the top guys on the team. All right, so moving on to number 9 on our list here, and that is Jamestown. Now, Jamestown is a smaller school located in North Dakota. I actually have a friend that coached there. He was an assistant coach, and he said that the hockey program was pretty good. The players were good. The schooling was pretty good as well. Overall, a decent program to go to. And you know, they're at number 9 this past season, but I heard that they are more of an up and coming program in the past 5 years. So that's one thing to consider. But honestly, if you get recruited there and it seems like a good fit, wouldn't be a bad spot to go to. All right, and now last and number 10 on our list here is Missouri State. Now this actually really surprised me. I didn't know that hockey was big at all down in Missouri, but apparently it is for the ACHA program. It's a very big school, so that's one thing that you guys need to know. If you want to go more to a small or medium-sized school, it's probably not the right fit. This is the biggest school on our list here. I don't know that much about the ACHA program. I did a bit of research. I would say they probably weren't in the top 10. If we did a 5-year average, it probably wouldn't be in the top 10, but because this past year they were in the top 10, I'm going to include them in here. So one school to look out for, probably a really decent hockey program, and if you get recruited there, and if you like a big school and you want to go in Missouri, well, that would be probably the right fit for you. So one school to look out for at number 10 on our list here. All right, guys, so let's do a quick recap of our list here. So here's a quick list of the top 10 ACHA D1 hockey programs as of 2022. Number 1, we got Lindenwood. Number 2, we got Adrian. Number 3, we got Minot State. Number 4, we got Iowa State. Number 5, we got UNLV. Number 6, we got Liberty. Number 7, we got University of Central Oklahoma. Number 8, we got Stony Brook. Number 9, we got Jamestown. And number 10, we got Missouri State. All right, guys, that is a wrap for the video. Hopefully you got some value out of it, and hopefully you guys like the list. Hopefully you agree with it. If not, definitely drop a comment down below and let us know what teams that you guys thought should have been on the list here. We definitely like hearing the comments. Try and keep it respectful. helpful, but I get it. Some people get angry with this and they troll us, but you know, it's not a huge deal. That's why we do the videos, because we want to help you guys and we can handle the keyboard warriors. As promised too, if you made it all the way here and if you smash that like button, here's that picture that we promised right now. Aww. Isn't it cute? Yep, always is. I never get tired of doing that kind of stuff. I think it's fun. But anyways, so moving on here, if you guys are new here too, and if you haven't already, consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss another video. Also too, if you had any questions, anything you want to talk to us about whatsoever, feel free to drop a comment down below or send us a private email at info@ahadvising.com and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. All right guys, that's a wrap for the video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you on that next one.